Welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about how I use to-do lists to achieve my goals. This is part 2 of a 2-part series. The first video was about goal setting, and I'll leave a link to that in the description below. And this one is about to-do lists. Goals are great to let you know where you're going. To-do lists are how you know what to do right now. I'm trying something new here. I have not done a top-down video before. My workbench was actually open for once, so I decided to give that a try. So my name is Jeff. I'm an artist, photographer, and videographer full-time. I use to-do lists to pretty much manage my life. Get that out of here. To-do lists are a great way to help you focus on important things. It gives you a sense of accomplishment as tasks are completed. It helps you avoid forgetting important things. And it helps me stay motivated. When I see things out there and I'm getting them done, it just really helps me continue to plow on, especially when tasks get hard. So there are a lot of systems out there for to-do lists. I've tried quite a few. My experience predates cell phones and having handy apps. So I've tried both the modern apps and paper systems. Most of the systems that I've tried have at least one of 3 issues. The first is they get overwhelming. A to-do list with a few things on it isn't overwhelming, but I'm an ADHD poster child, and if I don't write things down when I think of them, the next time I think of anything else, they are gone, and it's super frustrating. So most systems that I've tried, I just keep on adding item after item after item to, and it gets really overwhelming. If I look at a giant 6-page document of to-do lists, it doesn't help me. I just go, there's just no way I'm getting that done. The second issue that I've had is it's too easy to work on simple things and avoid hard things. So while doing a bunch of simple things, sure looks good on the piece of paper, lots of lines through lots of things. The problem is I would get to the end of the week and the hard things that actually move my practice forward weren't getting done. And then the third issue is that since I started with paper lists, I found that they rarely made it into my book bag or into my wallet or anything that I was going to bring with me. So I would just write list after list after list, never reference them again. And other than adding a lot of recycling to my waste flow, I wasn't doing anything useful for myself. So I came up with a combination of weekly and daily to-do lists to help me address these issues. First, we'll talk about the weekly to-do lists, and they are broken up into 4 parts. I'll talk about how I reference these here in just a second. Move that so you can actually see it. There we go. The first list is my weekly critical. Important things from my goals list or my calendar that need to be done on a specific day or this week get put on this list. Examples are deadlines, meetings, appointments, and other things that are critical to getting my work done. This week, I've got a meeting to talk with a drone expert about something that I need to understand for a potential project that's coming up next year. And I've got a reminder to talk to a client about an invoice and a lot of other similar tasks. The next list is the weekly non-critical. And just like it sounds, these are things that I'd like to get to, but they're not critical to a successful week. Examples are things like social events, trying new art techniques, and things like that. They're fun. They're things that I want to do and certainly should include in a balanced life. But if I don't do them, the world doesn't end. On my current list, I've got a meeting or a reminder to invite a friend of mine who's a photographer to a meeting. He's a excellent and creative photographer, and I haven't talked to him in a while, and I always find him very motivating. And a reminder to get some tickets for an upcoming musical event that my wife wants to go to. The next item is recurring critical. Where the weekly lists are unique tasks, the ongoing list is for things that repeat. Examples from my current list are weekly video capture, I've got a funded project that requires going out for 2 hours every week to shoot some time-lapse stuff. It's funded and I've committed to it, so it absolutely has to get done. And also, because I'm doing YouTube stuff, and understanding this platform is important to me, scripting, recording, editing, and publishing videos for YouTube are also on my recurring critical list. And then finally, we've got recurring non-critical. Abbreviate that because I'm running out of room. Finally, these are tasks that recur, but there isn't a great consequence to skipping them if needed. For my own list, talking to the camera every day, this helps me be more smooth with my deliveries when I'm talking to a camera, which is something I struggled with earlier on in my video career, and I just like getting in practice. And for me, going to the gym. Now, if one of your big goals is hitting a specific strength level or losing a certain amount of weight, maybe that might be on the recurring critical list, but for me, if I skip a day, my world doesn't end. By breaking the list into 4 sections, it keeps any one part from growing too large and getting overwhelming. And I keep these on whiteboards in my office where I look at them every day, and I use them to set my daily to-do list. I use a simple notes app on my cell phone. By drawing up cell phone. To keep track of my daily to-do list. I prefer handwritten lists, but the issue of not having it with me was making the other systems not work well, so I adapted to using a cell phone, and this has worked really well. I wouldn't bother getting a dedicated app or paying for an app. My notes list works just fine. The intent of this, breaking it into a single day, is not to have unwieldy lists, so simple apps are great. We want to prioritize things from our critical lists, and we want to do hard things first. This is where we address doing easy things to feel good, but not getting important things done. Having those 2 buckets of critical things, the recurring critical and the weekly critical, is what helps us write this. It's not that the non-critical things don't need to make it on the list. If you have a pretty good sense of what you can get done in a week, you can kind of mix and match them. But I always look at the critical things first. So for me, invoicing my client was on the list today. Recording this video is on the list. Oop, there we go. And picking up an office chair. There's a few more things. But But I got about half a dozen things on my list today, and it lives on the phone, and I've been steadily checking them off. It's okay to be a little aggressive here, but we don't want to put too much on this list. It's not supposed to get overwhelming. Okay. So now on to maintenance. I refine my daily list every morning. And I do the weekly lists on Sundays. I tried doing it Monday morning, but I tend to hit the ground running on Mondays, and that just wasn't working for me. If I've got an item on one of my non-critical lists, on my weekly non-critical or my recurring non-critical, and it's not getting done, it's time to decide whether it needs to get moved to the critical list or deleted and thrown in the trash. If it hangs out there forever and you're not going to do it, it's not really a to-do list item. It's just something to to haunt you, I guess. So lots of things that aren't on critical list today will move to a critical list just because I want to get them done. But some things I put on there just because I don't want to forget them and then realize either I've already done them or it's no longer important and I just throw it away. And then if things on my critical lists aren't getting done, there's an old saying about how do you eat an elephant, and the answer is one bite at a time. If this critical item is just too overwhelming or too big, maybe I need to break it down. I used to put YouTube video as a critical item. Well, learned very quickly that YouTube videos take coming up with ideas, coming up with thumbnails, writing scripts, shooting video, editing video, going back out and finding B-roll if I forgot B-roll, finding music or audio, marrying that all together and getting it published. So if it's getting too big, just break it down into smaller parts. If you can, and make it into more manageable bites that can go onto a daily to-do list and get done. I'm going to grab my earlier example here. As I'm going through my week, I draw a line through the single occurrence stuff that gets done. If I had a meeting and it gets done, draw a line through it. When I get this video capture done, I'll go upstairs and make myself feel a little bit better by doing that. For the recurring stuff, actually, shouldn't have drawn a line through here. Should have been over here. For the recurring stuff, put a check mark because I reuse those over and over again. If I accidentally draw a line through it, that's fine. I'll just erase it when I do the maintenance on Sunday. But like going to the gym, put a check mark every time I go. And that way, when I go into my office and look, I can see what I've gotten done that week. I'm working on this recording on a Wednesday, and my to-do list is looking pretty good. There's a lot of check marks and lines, and that makes me feel good. I don't want to leave these up here because then it gets overwhelming, and I feel like I'm not getting a lot done, which is something I tend to be haunted by. I feel like I'm never working hard enough, so this lets me know, yeah, you are working hard enough, you're getting a lot done, and you're getting the important things done, hopefully on the critical list. We're getting more things checked off and worrying about those more than we are on the non-critical parts. And finally, my wife has access to all of my goal documents, the whiteboards, my daily list, and I talk to her every day about how the day went and what the plan is for tomorrow. The external accountability and communication is great for me. It really helps me keep on task, and it really, seeing a smile from somebody else that cares about what I'm getting done helps keep me motivated. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. I do videos for artists and creatives and just about anybody else on motivation, techniques, and gear. So good luck. And thanks for watching. Hopefully this top-down version of my videos is well received. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Next week, we're probably going to get back to some more art-focused things. I'm not sure if it's going to be a review or a technique thing. I'm kind of working on a couple of different ones, but we'll see you then. Thanks.